In the early hours of Tuesday morning, the 15th of October, previous joint horse of the year Captain's Ransom foaled down on Basie and Suzette Viljoen's Hopes and Dreams stud in Wellington. Captain's Ransom produced a beautiful little bay filly bearing a strikingly similar resemblance to herself. It was a much anticipated moment as the Western Cape had endured weeks of rain and freezing temperatures, causing many mares to hold back from foaling. But with the warmer weather and signs of new life, paddocks started filling up with inquisitive little foals and their protective dams. Captain's Ransom had tested and foaled to previous stablemate now sire, Jack on her first visit to him at Drockenstein Stud in August last year. With both Captain's Ransom and Jack having been trained by Justin Snaith and sharing the Equus Horse of the Year title, it looked to be a match made in heaven. Back in Wellington, Captain's Ransom kept it all in the family when sharing a camp with none other than her half-sister by the United States, United's Ransom. The two mares formed a close bond, grazing peacefully, side by side, and paying no attention to the grand displays by peacocks in their camp. Despite their growing bellies, it was wonderful to see both mares still having fun. It all started well in the early hours of that Tuesday morning, but shortly after delivering her little filly, it became obvious that all was not right with Captain's Ransom. She had suffered a ruptured artery during foaling. It's considered a veterinary emergency, and despite best efforts to save her, she passed away both quickly and suddenly. Suzette and Basie were by her side. The loss of Captain's Ransom is tragic and deeply felt, especially by those closest to her. Tributes were quick to come in support of a mare who touched the lives of many. Captain's Ransom debuted in March 2020 at Hollywoodbets Durbanville. It was clear right from the beginning of her career that she was something special. Her impressive turn of foot became a trademark.
Up towards the outside, Captain's Ransom, the white cap is powering home, and Captain's Ransom draws away to win it in the closing stages. Down the inside,
her first Grade 1 win came in the Cape Fillies Guineas on her fifth outing to the track. Richard Fourie was in the irons that day, and from then on, the two were inseparable.
It's Captain's Ransom. She's taken command now into the closing stages, and she's stretching away to win the World Sports Betting Cape Fillies Guineas. Captain's Ransom wins it from Princess Gala. Chatching Zarina.
Captain's Ransom won 6 Grade 1s from 12 to 1800 metres in 2 provinces and on 3 different tracks, including beating the Colts in the Grade 1 Mercury Sprint.
Captain's Ransom's going to have to pick up Big Burn, and on the outside William Robertson, and here's Captain's Ransom. Captain's Ransom between the two. Captain's Ransom, she got up. What a filly, William Robertson and Big Burn. Wow, didn't it change dramatically in the last 50 meters?
Captain's Ransom made her mark on racing, winning 13 times from 19 starts for stakes of 3.5 million rand. But perhaps it wasn't just her performances that captivated people, rather what those who knew her best had to say.
She's a freak. She finds a winner's box. She's just... there's not much I can say about her, but she does all the talking herself.
She's a star, she's so close to my heart, and it's just been such a great honour and privilege to be riding this filly.
To Suzette and Basie, you really have 1 in a million here.
Last of all, Suzette and Basie, phenomenal horse.
High praise for a special filly. Captain's Ransom was not only a champion on the track, but more significantly, a champion in the hearts of people. The nature of racing and breeding is that it comes with exhilarating highs, but at times, seemingly unbearable lows. But there's hope as the legacy of Captain's Ransom lives on through her beautiful little filly whose life is only just beginning. However, being an orphan foal brought with it immediate challenges. Foals are born with no infection-fighting antibodies in their blood. Because of this, nature has its way to protect foals from bacteria and viruses in the environment, with the mare's first milk or colostrum containing the much-needed antibodies. But foals need to consume this within the first 24 hours of their lives. And with only a small amount from Captain's Ransom, Phosphantine stud were on hand with colostrum from their bank, kept for times like these. The best solution for raising an orphan foal long-term is to have it accepted by a foster mare. Foals can be bottle-fed and taught to drink out a bucket in time, but it's not ideal. Breeders will tell you that they quickly become over-humanized and miss out on socializing with other horses. So word was sent out to studs in the Western Cape, should any have a foster mare. A few days later, news came and the offer of a mare who had sadly just lost her own foal. Captain's Ransom's little filly was taken to Claverflay stud in the hope that the two would take to each other. Over the course of the next week, they were carefully introduced under the watchful eye of the Claverflay team. And the story has a happy ending. The mare and Captain's Ransom's little filly bonded, with the two returning to Hopes and Dreams stud to the delight of all. The homecoming was a special moment for Suzette. Looking at the little filly, the feeling seemed to be mutual. Named after Captain's Ransom, who was fondly referred to as Cappy by Basie and Suzette, Cappy's girl wasted no time in stretching her legs. The little filly's recognition of Juliana, who took care of her in the days before a foster mare was found, was touching. It's fitting that she's in the same camp on Hopes and Dreams stud that her mother and United Ransom shared. Watching Cappy's girl content and reassured in the company of her new mother brings hope and a chance to dream of greater things to come. Basie and Suzette Viljoen extend their heartfelt thanks to those who helped them and their team at Hopes and Dreams stud, including Carl de Vos and Jaco Erasmus at Phosphantine and John Costa with his team at Claverflay stud. Their gracious and selfless support has ensured that the legacy of Captain's Ransom lives on.